IOE. And today we are summoned here to brace our mind on the topic Entrepreneurship Talk Series Level 2 Building a Team. Today we will hear real life experience how a big team is formed from a single man to huge team. Firstly, I want to welcome each of you present here. Holt Prize, known as Nobel Prize for Student, is an annual year-long competition that crowdsources ideas from MBA and college students after challenging them to solve pressing social issues around topics such as food security, water access, energy, and education. It is also the world's biggest student-centered event and crowdsourcing platform, which started in Nepal from KU and TU in 2016. It is back in Nepal to find student prodigies on the theme Food for Good. It aims to take place in Nepal by mid-December. We have Holt Prize team with us. We have Mr. Jay Kishan Panjiar as a campus director, Mr. Vivek Malik is a deputy campus director, Mr. Sagar Shrestha is a correspondent, Ms. Anisha Adhikari is a media manager, Mr. Biplab Karki is a partnership and outreach manager, Mr. Angel Vishwakarma is a graphics manager, Ms. Suprema Shrestha is a public relation manager, Mr. Nikhil Aryal is a technical manager, Mr. Vishal Basyal is a marketing manager, Ms. Tunisha Gyawali is a sponsorship manager, and Ms. Devaka Vatrai is a event manager, and they are our passionate core team of Holt Prize at IOE. And likely campus representatives from each college are Mr. Ravin Ghimire from Himalaya College of Engineering, Mr. Navin Joshi from Advanced College of Engineering and Management, Ms. Shivani Karna from Lalitpur Engineering College, Ms. Nivedika Pokhrel from Kantipur Engineering College, Dhapakhel, Ms. Dharti Shrestha from Catford International College of Engineering and Management, Mr. Saugat Pandey from Thapathali Engineering Campus, Mr. Prajwal Adhikari from Chitwan Engineering Campus, and Ms. Megha Maske from Kathmandu Engineering College. Today, I'm really excited to get to know about building a team from a genius marketer, entrepreneur Satish Gaire, and from the famous singer Ali Jafar. I'm really excited to hear their voices, and I know I'm not the only one who is excited, right? And aren't you excited, Tunisa?
Oh, I'm so excited, you have no idea. We've got immense personalities among us here today. Mr. Satish Gaire sir, and we also have Mr. Ali Jafar who will be joining us at the end of our program. So I'd like to carry on from here. Entrepreneurship Talk Series is a part of an ongoing series conducted by Holt at IOE. So this is the second series. In the first series, we had changing ideas into reality. And how could we do that? Now the next step is forming a team, forming the right team that can help us create this into a reality. All right, so the teamwork is just inevitable, right? We need it in every part of our life. Especially in entrepreneurship, we need it to form a team who have well set goals, who are motivated, and who can help us achieve the goals and objectives of our company. Today, to talk with us, to enlighten us about all this and more, we have Mr. Satish Gaire. He is a marketing genius. He is a founder and CEO of Logic XY. He's also a project manager of Direct Pay, which is dominant in the digital goods. Podneo, dominant in the podcasting industry. Boo Agents, dominant in the real estate area. Great Steals, and so much more. His company has launched over 700 plus software products online and helped millions of people worldwide operate and expand their business. His company has been featured on Forbes magazine, Entrepreneurship magazine, IB Times, and CNN. Guys, these are big names. And this was all possible under the leadership of Mr. Satish Gaire and his team. So today we are very, very excited to have him talk to us about this journey as an entrepreneur from a single man company to 80 plus in the last 4 years. That's a great, great feat. We also call him the king of SaaS, SaaS as we call it. SaaS as in software for service, software as a service. So let me invite, without any further ado, the king of SaaS, and ask him how he built the dream team that made it all possible. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me today up here. I really appreciate it. And is everybody else having a great day so far?
It'll be a more wonderful one, sir, now.
So, first of all, again, thank you everybody for having me here today. I appreciate it. And I just want to go and start off by introducing myself a little bit, and I'll go ahead and get into our actual workshop where I'll teach you and show you how I went from a single man company to 80 plus in the last 4 to 5 years. Okay, so Satish here. So I've been in Dallas for almost last 20 years. And what we do up here is sell softwares. Like she said, SaaS, right? SaaS pretty much means software as a service. So let me explain. So usually people build softwares, right? And they sell it to a company. What we do is we build a software once, right? And then we have a bunch of people get in and they actually pay a rent or a lease. They're actually paying a recurring amount. So that's called SaaS. So don't confuse it with anything else. So that's SaaS. That's what we do. And right now we have 80 plus team members, and we have them here in Dallas, Romania, and India at this time. And like I said, our company has been featured on Forbes and so on, but that's not the highlight of this workshop. What I do want to focus on this workshop is how do you go from a lone startup owner or entrepreneur to somebody to actually build an actual empire. Okay, so and things were not always like this. So when I was starting out, I was alone, and nobody believes in you when you're starting out alone, and people think you're a wild card. Okay, and people think you don't have it in you, and that really sucks. But it's also an encouragement to help you get further in life. Okay, so when I moved to the US when I was 11, and I've always been an entrepreneur. Okay, I started a magazine business. I was selling hosting. I even sold at one point. I was selling like marijuana at one point, long time ago, not these days, but back in the long time ago. So fast forward today. Fast forward after after my 6th and 7th grade in high school, I started my software company. And at that time, I was the salesperson, I was the coder, I was the support guy. I did everything in the team. I did everything, right? And what I realized was this. Let me show it to you. So what I realized was screen with you. So this was my revenue for 2009, 2013 right here. So what do you think about, what do you think is wrong with this? What's wrong with this revenue? Can anybody tell me on the comments? So what's happening here is it might look to you like everything is going well. I'm making good money, but what's actually happening is my sales are plateauing. Here's what's happening. Now, what does that mean? So pretty much what that means is that you've seen the movies, right? And on the movies, like somebody's sick at the hospital and they got the EKG going up and down, and you hear that last beep, right? What does that mean? The person has died, right? So similarly, whenever there's a plateau, that means your business is dying. A lot of people don't realize that, but that's what's happening whenever there's a plateau. Line. So that's what's happening whenever you see a plateau. Now, what caused it? Okay, it was caused because I was working alone with one programmer at this time, and I was greedy because I wanted to keep all the money to myself. I didn't want to, hire people. I wanted to keep all the money to myself. I was greedy. You can feel it. Okay, kid who's in high school is making 500, 600K. I wanted to keep it all. But the problem was, my business was dying. Now, how do you fix it? Now I realized that, hey, maybe I can clone myself. Now, is that possible? Maybe not. So I thought I need to hire people. Maybe like me? That's not gonna happen. So I went into this big hunt, where I was trying to hire people from all around the world, and it didn't work out. Usually it won't work out well for you either, because initially when you're trying to hire people, you're going to go through these ups and down, and you're going to have a lot of problems. Now, so you're going to have a lot of those problems now, and then after a couple of years, I could give you like 50 things that you could do to build your company, turn it into an empire, but that wouldn't be right. Now, I did boil it down to 4 things. 4 things that you can do, anybody can do, in order to build your dream team. Now, keep in mind, okay, anybody can build a company. Anybody can build a company, but it takes a right team to take it from an actual company to an empire. And companies die. Empires, they don't die, right? Does that make sense? So empires never die. Companies die with the people who founded them. Okay, so if you want to create that empire, you have to have the right team. If you want to go ahead and scale your company like a linear graph, you have to have the right team. Now, I boiled down to 4 key things that you can do to build your dream team. Now, number 1, a lot of people say, hey, it's what you say to people. No, it's not what you say. It's how you say it, okay? Let me give you an example. So I got 2 envelopes, A and B, okay? Now, we're gonna write a letter to my mom. On my first one, I'm gonna write down, Mom, you've been horrible to me. You suck. You didn't raise me correctly. I am who I am because of me. That's letter A, okay? Got it? On the second letter, we're gonna write down, Dear Mom, I know it's been hard. I know you've been struggling. I know I've been struggling. But who I am today, it is because of you, your son. Which one are you gonna mail? A or B? Put it in the comments right now. Which one are you gonna mail? Put it in the comments. You're gonna mail this one where you said, Mom, you suck. You didn't raise me correctly. Or this one, Dear Mom, I know things have been hard, but I get it. This one, right? Because what B, correct? Now, so how you say, I said the same thing on both letters, but how you say actually matters. So when you communicate with your team members, make sure you communicate with them in that personal level. You want to say the right things, but in a proper way. Now, let's see. Now, these are some of the things that you can use with your team member. Instead of saying, what is this? What's going on? Say, may I suggest? So if you use these terms, help me understand why you did this. Instead of saying, why did you do it? Say, help me understand why did you do this or that. Does that make sense, everybody? Yes, type 1 on the question block if that makes sense. Cool. Let's move on. Now, number 2, no competition. They're like, what's going on? So usually when you join a company, most people are thinking there has to be a competition. But let me ask you this. Is there a competition among your family? Usually no, right? If there is a competition, that means you're not gonna learn. Let me explain. So back when I was in Nepal, right? It's a long time ago, like 20 years ago. And let me get my charger. Give me a second. So back when I was in Nepal, like almost 20 years ago, so my mom was always like, पारसको यो पारसको के अरे चाहिँ छोरोले कति राम्रो के अरे चाहिँ पढेको तिमीले किन राम्रो पढ्दैन भनेर मलाई गाली गर्नुहुन्थ्यो. And at that time I said, I got to beat that guy. I can't be, that was my whole focus. And at the end of the year, when that kid left the school, what did I end up with? Nothing. I didn't learn anything. So when there is competition in the team, it's not gonna end so well. So what you wanna do is you wanna diffuse those competition in the team members, okay? And the way you do that is, you make them feel like family. You don't have them compete. A lot of companies, what they do is they say, hey, you got this quota, you got to do 10 sales, you got to do 100 sales. What that does, it only creates competition. And if there is competition, you can't learn. You can't learn anything, okay? Now, number 3, motivation with dopamine. Now, here's the thing. So whenever you have people working for you, right? And you have to motivate them, okay? And they can't come to work every single day and expect to, you know, be their best, because you do have to throw out that motivation every single day. Now, what I used to do back in the day was I was giving people high fives every single day, but that doesn't, it's not going to work out forever, right? It's never going to work out forever. So how do you do it? So what I did was I tried to throw a dopamine rush in people's head. Now, what is dopamine? Dopamine is a neurotransmitter in your brain that goes off whenever you have a small victory. Small victory. So what does that mean? So let's say you're in class, right? And you're in class and a professor asks you a question. What's this? What's 2 + 2? And you say 4, right? And the professor tells you, good job, amazing job. Now, what do you do after that? You want to answer more question because your brain just released a dopamine rush. Does that make sense, everybody? Good? So make sure you are giving your team members small victories, because whenever you throw that dopamine rush in people's head, they can repeat the behavior of them, working efficiently, working on the project properly. Keep that in mind. Yeah. Now, so how do you create this dopamine rush in people's head? So what you do is pretty much you come up with some familiar behavior. For example, let's say if everybody on your team member uses an iPad, right? They log in. You have to add a new behavior right after they open up their laptop or iPad. So for me, what I did was this. So whenever they came to the office and they opened up their email, I sent this email to everybody. It said, hey, Bob, excited to have you back. The key for the vending machine where they could get coffee and stuff was this. They got this email. I changed the key every single day. I did that to make sure that I still had them motivated. I did that. I was also going ahead and giving out them, Starbucks cards every Friday to help them motivated, to make sure that they are always motivated when they come to the office. Now, number 4, okay, experienced versus inexperienced. Now, let me explain. So we got 2 people up here, okay? So we got Nick and we got Aline. Both of these guys, they work for me. Now, Nick right here has a computer science degree. He has 5-year corporate experience. He doesn't have any personal project, or anything like that. On the other hand, Aline right here, he doesn't have a degree. He has no corporate experience, but he does have experience with projects, personal projects, okay? Now, you got it, right? Who do you hire? Type 1 for Nick and type 2 for Aline. So Nick is an experienced guy. He has a degree. He has 5-year experience. And this other guy up here, he doesn't have a degree, but he's pretty good. He has done things for himself. Who do you hire? Put it on a question box right now. Type 1 for Nick and type 2 for Aline. Now, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. If you hire all the experts, people, your company is going to be boring, non-innovative. There won't be any optimism, and it's not going to go that far out. Now, if you hire all the inexperienced people, your company is going to collapse. Why? Because you don't got the right people. So the mix is to actually hire both kinds of people. Let me explain. So on the right side right here, you hire experienced CPAs, lawyers, right? On the left side right here, if you want people to be creative, hire inexperienced people because their minds are creative because they're not in that box, okay? So their mind is going to be much more creative, okay? Now, so we learned 4 things, 4 keys. Now, if you're like, I can't remember all of it, it's too hard and things like that, let me go and give you this acronym for HOME. Now, why did I choose HOME? Because, whenever you think of home, you think, comfy, trust. So every time you're trying to build that, dream team, just think of home, okay? So home, how you say it, okay? Remember this, okay? O, no competition. M, motivation. E, and everybody, you got to have everybody. You got to have the experienced people and also the inexperienced people as well on your team. Does that make sense, everybody? Cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions? Let's see right here. Okay.
Okay. Do we have any questions? If we have any questions, you can raise your hand and we can call you to ask Mr. Satish some questions. We did get some questions in our form. So may I ask you some of those?
Okay, so I got a question up here. It says, explain about no competition. So pretty much what that means is that whenever there is a competition, right, there's no learning, okay? Let's say you came to a company, right, and they tell you you got to have 10 sales, 20 sales every week, right? At that time, you're focused on actually beating up one of your team members. Let's say I'm person A and person B. I'm trying to beat that second person, right? So if there is no competition, you focus on the actual work, on learning and getting more efficient. Any other questions?
Yeah, we got one. It's from Asha. She says, how to know your team members are effective or not?
So make sure they are reaching, so you got to have your KPI, right? Your key point indicator. So for example, for me, that was sales, okay? And for you, it could be getting signups or, meeting this much, the project, percentage. So make sure, define what your KPI is, your key indicator, right? And make sure that your team members are, effectively reaching that. How to kick them off the team. So here's the thing, right? So it's super hard to kick people off the team, but it happens, right? But remember this thing earlier I told you, A and B. So instead of saying you're fired like Donald Trump, you say, I'm sorry, I wish you all the best. You're gonna do great wherever you go, and I'm sorry it didn't work out. Maybe you got something better going on for you in next year. So you have to just say it nicely.
There's another question. Has your team ever failed to reach a goal?
Every single day. So the problem is this, okay? So a lot of people think that, people think I'm smart. I'm not, okay? The thing is, I have really good people in my team, and they make me look good, okay? So my team fails all the time, right? But you don't need to, and nobody remembers your failures, okay? You can fail as many times as you want. All you need is that couple of 1 or 2 wins and you'll be fine.
One of the audience is asking, can you suggest some more ways about how to say anything better, like some more beautiful phrases and ideas?
How do you say? Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, maybe we can go back to this. this slide right here. So on this slide, okay, so whenever you're, having a conversation with somebody, you don't want to diffuse it, right? You want to keep that conversation, civil. So what you do is, instead of saying, hey, help me understand, why did you do that? Okay, instead of saying, why did you do that, right? Help me understand. So what that makes, that's going to diffuse that tension between you and your team member. How to prevent how you say. So how do you actually find the people to build your team? So here's what I do. Okay, so what I do is, instead of putting a job job form on job sites, what I do is I look for referrals. For example, let's say one of you guys work for me, right? And I'm going to ask you, hey, can you find some of your friends to work for us? So I always do it based on referrals. Okay, and you can do that. But if you're just starting out, if you're just building your team at this point, use Upwork, use Freelancer, use Indeed, Indeed.com. So Upwork, Freelancer, and Indeed. If you go to those sites, you'll find great people. But once you find that right kind of person, make sure to get referrals after that. How do you keep motivating? Okay, so how do you motivate your people when there is failure, right? So you take the blame. If your team fails, don't blame them. Don't tell them, oh, you did it wrong, you suck. Don't say it. Say, it's okay. It's okay. We'll fix it together. So take all the blame. So every time something crazy goes off in our company, I take the blame, because at the end of the day, it is my company, right? And the second thing, I don't want to diffuse. I don't want to create that tension in the team. Let's see, how to keep your team. So yeah, like I said, so I don't get the question. How do you sell non-monetary value to your team, like experience? What do you mean by sell? Like, you can sell them, you worked with me, you're gonna get a certificate, you can do that. But usually, there has to be people have to get paid. Okay, if you're not paying them, they're not gonna work for you. So there has to be a monetary factor in it. No one's gonna work for you for free. I'll tell you that. Okay, and you have to pay your team members really, really well. Okay, and you can't be paying them, something. You can't be lowballing them. Make sure you're paying them right.
I have one question, Satish sir. So if there are some toxic environments in group, like say something happens that is like toxic for the whole group to move forward, then how do you deal with such situations?
Like toxic people, right? So what I usually do is I get that toxic person out of the team for a bit. I have a one-on-one conversation, and I give them 3 chances, okay? Strike 1, 2, 3, and you know what's happening after that? Great, thanks, you're gonna do a better job at a different company. Have a nice day. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Always give people 3 chances, because here's the thing, right? Sometimes that person might be having a bad day, right? She might be having a bad day, and that might be the reason. And you have to always give people 3 chances. I give people 3 chances on everything, okay? In life, in work, business, everything. 3 chances. After that, they're out.
Right.
Anything else?
There's a question here.
So what is the first step to do a startup? So before you, okay, let me ask you guys a question. So whenever you want to come up with a startup idea, do this. Where do you spend most of your time? Do you spend most of your time playing games? Or do you spend most of your time, reading a book? Find that out. And number 2, find out, where are you spending most of your money? Once you have those things figured out, you will know what you're good at. Now, once you figure out what you're good at, you sell that. For example, let's say, what are you good at?
I'm good at talking to people. I'm good at establishing good relations with them.
Yeah. So networking, right? So if she knows networking, what can she do? So maybe she can teach a course on networking. That's number one. Maybe she can build a software. Maybe she can build, AI machines that's going to help people have a better communication, right? We always need that in marketing. We always need that in businesses, right? And last but not least, make sure your startup makes money. If your startup is not making money, close it down. You can't, okay? I'll tell you one more thing. A lot of people start business for passion. Drop it, okay? If you are passionate, go become a fire truck driver, do whatever you want, become a painter. If you want to be in business, make sure you are earning the money. If you're not earning the money, you shouldn't be in business.
Right. So,
how do you feel yourself when you feel low? So like I said, dopamine, right? That doesn't mean go out and have a drink or smoke weed. What you can do is, okay, watch. So I have a tread machine in the back of my office in the house, right? Every time I feel stressed, I go run. Every time I feel low, I go run. That's why there's a treadmill in the back of my office. So if you feel low, just work out or just run. That helps. How do you help your employees with? So somebody says, yeah. So I'll show you what our companies are. So our companies, what we do, like I said, is we have a lot of companies. But let me show it to you. So pretty much, like I said, I'm in the SaaS business. We sell softwares for a recurring fee, and that can be in the fintech, like financial industry, like direct pay, or like podcasting or licensing, real estate business, side hustle. So it just goes on and on. So like for dentists, we build software for lawyers. So that's what we do. Next question.
here's one question. What is your greatest fear and how do you manage fear?
My greatest fear is waking up one morning and, all of this thing might collapse. It does happen. It has happened a couple of times already. Now, how do I deal with it? I deal with it because here's the thing, okay? If I didn't like this rush or this risk, I wouldn't do it. That's the first thing. If you want to get into business, make sure you realize that it's not like what you see on my Instagram. It's not like that, okay? You go on my Instagram, you're gonna see me all nice and good. That's not how usually it is. It's super, super hard. You're gonna be working nonstop early on. You're gonna be doing meetings nonstop. You're gonna hear people say no to you all the time until you get to that level. So, make sure you get ready for that. And one more thing, I'll tell you one more thing. It's all worth it. Okay, so how do you convince investors to invest on a startup? So here's the thing. A lot of people think you need a lot of money to start your startup. That's a lame excuse, okay? If you think that you need money before you start your business, who are you kidding, okay? You don't. So here's the thing. Whenever I see an entrepreneur, they're like, I'm waiting for that $10 million check before I start my startup. What did you do? How did you validate your idea? Did you do something to prove it to the investors? If you haven't, then you're on the wrong path. Now, if you have validated it to get to get people's free money, I've done it. What you do is you create a pitch deck. Okay, a pitch deck is going to have the problem, solution, how much money you're making, where do you expect to be in the next 10 years, and then you get on Twitter, okay, and you type of VC, and then you go ahead and find VCs. You just gotta. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You got to prove to investors that, hey, your idea is going to become a unicorn or a $1 billion company in the next 10 to 15 years. That's how you get other people's free money. That's a tip of the iceberg, but you get the idea.
There's one question. How do you create a good environment between the experienced and the inexperienced people? Surely there will be a certain gap between them and the way you deal with them, right? How do you coexist in the environment?
Okay, so how do you create, how do you make the inexperienced people and experienced people
Work
gap up,
together.
okay? Gap up. So here's how you do it, okay? So whenever I hire people, right, I let them know that we do have, you know, an experienced people. That doesn't mean they're bad at their work. It's just that they don't have a formal education. And in our company, in our team, we don't talk about things like, you know, where did you go to college? Harvard. I went to UNT, right? So see, it creates that I didn't go to college. We don't have that conversation. I tell them upfront. Okay, I do that. That's number one. Number two is when you're building, you know, when you're creating this team, dream team, it's like a family. It's like a family. And the entire purpose of creating this team is so that the inexperienced people can, you know, create that vision, that creativeness, and give it to the experienced people. And experienced people will tell you, you know, there is this limitation, and the other person will tell you, no, there is not a limitation. It's a good mix.
There's one more question. How do you help your employees with alienation? They might be involved in a very specific task inside a large project, hence they may not feel a big part of that project.
Okay, so you have to. So this is when I said the motivation part, right? So see, these 4 key points are going to help you out. So let's see, motivation. So if somebody is doing like, you know, small part, like, you know, small part, like this is the entire project and they're just doing the small part, right? And how do you help them? You tell them, you show them that if we don't have this small part, what they're working on, this is not going to be complete, right? If I get rid of this thing right here like this, if somebody's working on creating this flap, and if we don't have it, it's not an envelope anymore, right? So you have to make sure you show them that, hey, what you're working on is actually going to tie it together and make it into a complete project. You have to show them that what they're working on, even though it's a small part, right? It helps the company grow. It helps other businesses. It helps you create jobs. It helps you. It helps other businesses make money. So that's what you have to do.
There is a question. What's your initial investment while starting a business?
So my initial, so I made my first 100K when I was in 7th grade, and that was initially it was just time, right? But it does help when you have money. It does help when you have money. But initially, your initial investment is going to be your time. Okay. I'll tell you one thing. Okay. In life and business, you can do everything. You're going to need 2 things. Okay. It's either time or money. I use money so I can save time. If you don't have the money, use time. Okay. So initial investment is going to be your time.
There's
Any
another
other
question.
questions?
How do you find the right resources to build the effective project or startup?
How do you find the right resource? Okay, so before you even go out and look for a resource, make sure you have that idea. Make sure people are willing to give you the money. So a lot of people, what they do is they come up with a business idea, right? They register a company, they get a business card, they get a logo, but they haven't made money, right? They haven't made money. So here's the thing. Once you come up with that business idea, make sure you make some money to validate that is there a market fit? Because you do all these things, you create a company, you got your CFO, you got your sister as your, I don't know, assistant, you got everybody in, but the company's not making money. Make sure your company is able to make money before you go out and venture.
I'd like to interrupt a bit here. If our audience, any one of you want to ask Mr. Satish directly, you can raise your hand. We will unmute you, and you can do that. It's
Okay.
informal. Back to the group chat we go. So there's a question. How can we create entry by barrier?
How can we create entry? You want to bypass an entry, or you want to create the, oh, okay, I get you. So you want to stay ahead of your competition, right? Is what you're saying? So what you do is you're always going to have competition. Okay, people are going to copy you. So whenever I start something new or a new project, my competitors they're copying me. Okay, And I'll tell you one thing, if people have to copy you to get ahead of you, they're never going to get ahead of you. So just focus on what you're doing. Don't worry about that company. But here's the thing, you do have to spy on what your competitors are doing though. Make sure you get a spy in that other company, always. But, okay, as long as you're focused on your vision, don't worry about that person, okay? Don't worry about that person.
Can you suggest some practical ways to bring the entire internal desire into reality? What type of mindset should we create? Like a lot of times we have the internal desire, but we just lose it, right, before it becomes a reality.
So here's what you do, okay? So you want to do something. So here's what you do. So let's say you want to get something done. You break it into pieces, okay? There's no way. I wake up sometimes, I'm like, I want to get this new project done. I can't get it done in one day. So what I do is this, okay? I work on that project 10 minutes today, 20 minutes tomorrow, 30 minutes, okay? So if you break it into pieces or parts and work on them, individually, you're going to get it done.
There is a question from Shahil. Is it to be a well-established company that should be a software company or maybe another?
Is it to be
Maybe he's asking for becoming a well-established company, is a software company more, has more prospects or?
No, it's, so I'm into software because, I got into software. So my background is actually, I have a biochemistry degree. I have never used it. I've never used it, okay? I didn't learn programming. I didn't learn software from school. I did my pre-med. I got my biochemistry degree, but I never learned these software stuff from school. I learned it online from books and from experience, right? And that's why I'm in the software business. Now, with you don't have to be in the software business. Software business is just easier because there's no overhead. You don't have to have a warehouse. All you got to do is buy a server or rent out a hosting, and you are just, an hour, and you can build it alone. So that's why I got into software. But that doesn't mean you have to get into software. You can get into any business, okay? As long as there is money to be made. As long as there is a market fit, you can do it. What is the first, okay, so what's the first successful business I ever had? So when I was in 7th grade, right? I think I was 12 or 13, I forgot. When I was in 7th grade, so I was selling at that time, right? At that time, whenever you opened up websites, right, on your mobile phone, it didn't show correctly at that time. It was just like a big website. And what I did was at that time, I started calling people up, and I offered them, hey, can I build you a mobile website? And I did that. I did that every day, day in and out. And on my first year, I made that 100K. That was my first business, right? And I've done magazines. I've done, most of it has been software.
So I had one question.
Okay.
Yes, please. So my question is you want to create a company with learning environment, right? But if you are a leader, you have a certain sense of demand, right? You want something to be completed in a timeline.
Can you repeat that one more time? I didn't hear the first part. Sorry.
So you want to create a company with a learning environment, right? Where people learn and stuff and grow their idea from there. But if you are head of the company, you want something to be completed on certain time. Because your money is being invested in there, you want a certain sense of a demand from them. How do you cope with that? Or how do you create a learning environment in that situation?
So what you do is, it's a part of a company culture. So whenever you have people coming in, it's called onboarding, right? You have to train people that, they're getting paid to do the job, right? And along with that, they are also learning. So when I interview people, right, when they get a job, I tell them this. I tell them, okay, you're going to be a great part of this job. And when you walk out of this company, you're going to be the most wanted person in this industry because we will train you to be, train you to become that kind of person. For example, let's say we do a lot of cold callings, right? And whenever somebody comes in, a new person comes in, and then I train them so good to become a cold caller, like a couple years later, they might want to exit. That's fine. Okay, that's fine, because they came to our company, they brought their visions, they they used it, and then they went out and created their own company. That's fine. Yeah.
So like, because I have been in like in an environment where like my project manager or something, they just doesn't like, they don't want to see the effort. Like, it's the completeness what you have in place, because that's
You don't want to.
like,
So your PM doesn't want to see what? The effort?
like the effort, because they have a certain timeline and they have to get it done in that timeline. They're like,
Okay. I see what you mean. They don't see the effort. They just want to see the results, right?
yeah. So as a leader, do you want to be result oriented or like effort oriented? Because sometimes every time the effort won't like do anything because you want a result.
Exactly. So I talked about 3 strikes, right? So as a leader, make sure that your team member gets at least 3 chances to prove themselves. Okay. I always make sure, let's say they're not meeting their quota, right? That's okay. I get them in the office. I talk to them. I explain to them, hey, here's what's going on. You're not meeting your quota. How can we help you? How can we make it better for you? Do you want to work from home? Do you want to bring your puppy to the office? Do you want us to, bring you this lunch? What can I do to make sure that you complete your, task? I give them 3 chances, okay? I think that's more than enough. More than enough. And if they can't fulfill it in three strikes, I think it's time to let them go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, sorry.
I'm picking out questions.
I had some problem with the internet connection. Yeah.
Any other questions? Somebody says, I'm 15. How do I start a startup? So you're 15. That's good. I'm glad you want to, start something as a 15-year-old. So right now, figure out, let's say you're 15. So figure out what you're good at, right? Let's say you're good at guitar, right? Maybe teach some guitar lessons. Let's say, you have computer, I'm guessing, and get on your laptop and maybe learn blogging, simple things. You don't have to start an entire company when you're 15. You just have to make enough money so that you learn it, right? So get on Upwork.com, and it's called Upwork.com. Get on there, get a free account, and then find out what you can do for people. A lot of people are looking for people to send out emails or do SMS marketing or do email marketing. And as a 15-year-old, I think you can do it.
There is a question in the chat box, like, how do you develop your communication skills?
So how do you build your, so communication as a team leader or as just a normal person?
To be a team leader, you must have a good communication skills. You must make everyone understand what you understand. So how do you develop your communication skills?
So here's the thing, I do it every day. So I try to use props to get what I'm thinking across to my team members, okay? I can go on here and talk to you guys about, how to do a good interview. I can talk to you about how to do a good recruitment, but it's gonna go over your head. So what you have to do is kind of dumb it down in a way and then explain it to them in a way that, they've already had that experience. For example, let's say you compare it. For example, you say, hey, let's see. Say, remember this time, this is how it worked. You compare it with something that they already know. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes. And there is again another question in the chat box, like if someone in your team continuously makes mistakes in your company, so when do you know that you should kick off that team member from your participant?
3 times.
Sorry.
I give them 3 times. Okay. I give all of my friends 3 times. I give everybody 3 chances. Okay. My staff, my team leaders, whoever, I give them 3 chances to fix their mistake. If they can't fix it in 3 times, that's it.
That is really a good answer. So did you ever feel like giving up when you suffered?
I feel like giving up today too. I feel like dropping everything up and maybe I'll come to Nepal next year and maybe you'll see me as a Baba. I feel like that every single day. But here's the thing, okay? There's nothing else that I would rather do, okay? And when you get into business, it's not, okay? It's not like I tell it to people, right? People get on my Instagram and they see, the planes picture, they see me with the car. That's the side effect of me working for 11 years, okay? 11 years nonstop, okay? When you starting a business, it's going to be really difficult. If you can't cope with that, get a job. I tell people, get a job, because job is easy, right? You just go, just work, come back, that's it. As a business owner, I have to check emails at 3 a.m. Oh, this guy didn't do the job. Oh, this guy's not, we're not getting paid. This guy didn't pay the invoice. Oh, this team leader, abused this little, this. So it's a hassle. So keep that in mind.
Okay. As a team leader, you may face so many different kinds of like workers in your company, those may be toxic or non-toxic. So how do you accept yourself as a diplomatic? How diplomatic are you in your team? So how can you manage your employees? How diplomatic are you?
I'm define diplomatic. Like what in what sense?
And like someone may call you like, you may have to, someone may ask you some kind of things you're not able to give to that person, but that employee is very important for you.
Okay.
So how do you manage such kind of
So
things?
here's the thing. Okay. One of the best things that I learned in my life was how to say no. Okay. So many times in life, people are going to ask you, they're going to email you, your employees, everybody's going to say, can I do this? Can I get a raise? Can I do this? And one of the best things that I learned in my life is getting rejected. I don't have a problem with getting rejected. I don't. And what you can do is this, try this, okay? Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, go to a coffee shop, right? And ask for a free cup of coffee. They're gonna ask you why. They'll just be like, I want it. They will say, no, you can't have it, right? At that time, what's gonna happen is you're gonna feel humiliated, right? Do it 3 more times. After that, people can say no all day long. It won't matter anymore. Does that make sense?
There is a question in the chat box. How do you deal with materialistic people in your company? I mean, some people may like just come to you and ask, what is your work for today? Okay, so they don't use their any kind of like mind, and they just ask you, what is my work for today?
How do you deal with materialistic mind, right? So yeah. Here's my thing. Here's what I do. So I buy whatever I can afford, everything, okay? Nice cars, I'll buy it. Here's what I do. I wait 30 days, okay? So let's say I see something nice, right? I want it. And what I do is, okay, cool. And I wait 30 days. After 30 days, if I still want it, I'm gonna get it, no matter what. I don't care what the price is. I don't care about anything. I'm gonna get it, but I'm gonna wait 30 days. What happens is, if you wait 30 days, you won't have that impulse to buy. So just wait 30 days.
There is again a question in the chat box. Like, you are motivating us right now. We are getting motivated by you. So is there anyone that motivates you?
One of the people I look up to is Elon Musk. I love him. I follow him. I'm also a big fan of Bill Gates. A lot of people don't like him these days, but I'm still a big fan. Besides that, that's it pretty much.
Okay, I have sorry.
How do you keep your teammates in discipline?
Say it again.
How do you keep your teammates in discipline, sir?
How do I keep
without letting
how do I keep them disciplined, right? So here's the thing. So I make it super clear to people that how I want things. That's just me. And I say it once, okay? And I say it when I onboard people. So whenever I'm interviewing people, I tell them, before they're a part of my team, I tell them, okay, this is what's gonna happen. This is how it's gonna happen, okay? And if you don't do it, you're gonna get fired, okay? And I make them sign it. So make sure that before you onboard people, they know what to expect from you. Because after you onboard them, that's a wrong time to decide if you wanna discipline them or if you wanna fix it. That's a wrong time. You have to tell them what your expectations are well before you onboard them.
So, so how do you intelligently invest, especially your revenue? I mean, where do you focus and what aspects?
Said one more time.
How do you intelligently invest, especially your revenues, you know?
Okay, so here's what I do. So like personally, I'll give you my personal views and my company views because there are different entities, right? So personally, what I do is whatever I take out from the company, I try to invest it into real estate. That's me. Now on the company side, what we do is we try to buy out other companies who are on the early phase, pre-seed, or pre-revenue. We try to buy them out because so we can buy their technology and we can be 10 steps ahead of our competitors. So I always use some of our profits to buy other companies out because a lot of these companies are started by these amazing founders. They don't have the money, and you can buy them in a very cheap price and just buy them out and then make them part of your team.
So, sorry, you told us that you studied biochemistry, right? So, to go in a sector that is completely different, what made you change your mind, and what motivated you to take that sector and leave the other one?
So when I was growing up, right? When I was growing up, everybody told me, right? You either become a doctor or you become an engineer.
Right.
If you're not a doctor or engineer, you're not a good person. You're a loser. Do you feel the same way? Right? A lot of people feel the same way, right? You're not a doctor, you're not an engineer. Yeah, and they tell you that you're a loser. Now, here's me. So I was going to school, college, and then I was getting my degree in biochemistry. Alongside that, I had my business, right? My business took off, right? And I realized, right, I can make what a doctor makes in 15 days and what a doctor makes in a full year in 15 days. So it's not really about money anymore. So I chose to get into software because it's for the money. I'll tell you that it's not because of the passion. It's because it's the easiest and fastest way to make money. Simple as that. I'm not a big fan of people who say, follow your passion. Oh, you'll do great. That's not gonna work. Okay. What you have to do is follow what you want. Okay. If you have a passion for paintings, great. You're not gonna make money. I'll tell you that. If you have a passion to teach, teach. But I'll tell you that. Okay. Your peers might have better house, wives, cars than you down in the future. But just know that. So make sure you define that, whatever you want in life, make sure you just focus at it. And if it's passion, it might work out, but doesn't work out for everybody, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but this is a very different perspective, sir, because most of the times we're hearing from career counselors and everyone that follow your passion, know your passion, and everybody gets confused. What's my passion?
Right. So
really, right?
Exactly. So let's say, somebody wants to teach, right? And let's say you become a teacher, right? And you're 50-year-old, right? And a teacher doesn't make much money. We know that, right? And at that time, they realize, I'm not saying everybody, right? Most passionate things, they don't make you a lot of money. For example, let's say you're like, I'm going to play soccer and become the best soccer player, right? It could be you, but 99.999% of all those people are not going to become Messi, right? They're not going to become Ronaldo. They're not going to become, these big time footballers. They're going to be it's not going to work out for them. So I don't suggest people follow their passion.
There's one interesting question. How do you deal if the best employee of your company or the best member of your team thinks of leaving?
It wants to leave?
Yeah.
I will give them my blessings.
Right.
Enjoy, do good, because here's the thing, okay? As an entrepreneur, I feel it, right? Because a lot of people, they join our company, they learn the culture, they go out and build their own companies, and which is fine, I give them my blessings. But here's the thing though, if they go out and start copying our products, they're gonna get a lawsuit. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. They're gonna get into huge trouble. Are technical skills required in all the startups nowadays?
Not really. You can hire people. So here's the thing, okay? A lot of people think that, you have to learn programming or this or that. No, money can buy that, okay? And sometimes you can do sweat equity, meaning, you don't have to actually give out real money. You can actually go ahead and tell people that, hey, work on this project for, let's say, a year and I'll give you 15%, 20%, and so on and so on. So it's not always money.
Let's take one last questions for today. What wisdom or skills do you need to be an entrepreneur?
Just the willingness to actually change lives, because as an entrepreneur, it's your job, it's your duty to create more jobs, innovate. And here's the last thing, okay? It's your duty to make sure that you make things better than you found them. So you're an entrepreneur, make sure before you leave, before you exit, make sure to make it better. That's all you need.
Mr. Satish has covered a lot today and answered a lot of the queries from our audience today. We were so grateful to you, Mr. Satish. Wrapping up about what you said today, you gave us the acronym HOME, HOME. H stood for, sorry?
I'm sorry?
The letter H, it stood for?
It's how you say it.
Yeah, it's how you say it. Number O, sorry, letter
no competition.
O. No competition.
M is motivation.
Motivation, right. And E?
E is everybody. So involve both experienced people and inexperienced people as well.
Yes. So we need to keep this as a mantra in our endeavor to becoming a successful team player, a successful team leader, and leading our company to a very bright future, right? Keeping our team members motivated, keeping our team members on their toes, making them motivated and in their endeavor to becoming one of the best, being their best version and delivering the best of themselves to the company and having a good work environment so as to get success, make more profit, become smart, employ strategies and get what the company demands, right? So thank you so much, Satish sir. This was a wonderful, wonderful session. I'm sure all of us learned a lot. We feel really, really grateful to have you here.
Thank you for having me. And the last thing I want to tell everybody is, I want all of you guys to start a business of some sort. And I hope this little session, I put you, I kind of encouraged you, hopefully. So I want each one of you guys to start some sort of business and inspire people, create more jobs, and, make things better. Thank you so much for having me.
It was a wonderful, wonderful session, sir. Thank you so much. Now we have our special guest with us here today from Pakistan. I'd like to hand over this to Suprema Shasta.
Okay, thank you, Tanisa. So just because you are struggling in your life does not mean you are failing. People often compare struggling with failing, but it is not even close. In fact, if you are struggling in your life, that means you are still in the game. We don't see these incredible opportunities at first because every opportunities you and I have is surrounded by problems. Great people often said that they never got any opportunities, that they didn't have to go through doors of problems. So next time, if you face any opportunities with problems in your life, don't let the crisis numb you. Be alive, feel, fail, learn. This is what you have to do if you want to make a difficult time a better time. Hello, everyone. It's Nepali time, 3 p.m., and it's a history. No one is going to forget this time. Today, we are joined by a singer, songwriter, model, actor, producer, philanthropist, and painter. This is the best thing I have ever had to tell you today. A man that everyone respects, a guy that needs no introduction but Mr. Ali Zafar, is a man with a mission, a man with a message, a man that adds huge value in today's event. In 2003, he gained popularity by his Channo song and able to distribute 5 million copies worldwide. The first Pakistani to be called to Indian Film Festival at Australia in March 2011. I won't take more time here. Let's welcome Mr. Ali Zafar.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for the lovely introduction.
Hello, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Okay, so we are very excited to listen short experience of your success. How do you become Ali Zafar an inspiration to everyone?
That's a long story. I'll try to make it as concise and short and informative as possible. I feel that everybody's journey is different. Everybody goes through their own experiences in life, and everybody faces their own challenges. Now, what determines success to failure is actually they are your responses towards different adversities that come in your life. How you face those challenges or those adversities that come your way through your journey in life. And some people tend to get demotivated or discouraged or feel difficult. That's my son. And hello, Zan. And some people, face them and take them as challenges and then, surf through it. So it is our responses that define us. This is what I do, Troy, when he's having his school meetings. So he's gotten back at me. Yeah. So that's it. So when I talk about myself, I think when I was young, since a very young age, when I was like 16 or 17, I started to feel that I was destined to be somebody who's how do I say that I didn't feel that I would want to live a life, an ordinary life. I wanted my life to be larger than life itself, to be extraordinary, and to be able to do extraordinary things. Initially, at that age, the ambition and the goals were self-determined, and then later, as I kept achieving those goals, there was a very strong urge to be able to use what I've been blessed with for other people. Because I noticed, through my learning in life, I noticed that nothing really is a coincidence. And you can manifest and design your life exactly the way that you want to. And that's science, actually. There's a methodology to it. And if you learn it, you can manifest whatever you want to achieve in the future.
Okay, so how are you able to achieve so many things in your life?
Like with magic.
That's not
the
true.
magic, with the magic of achieving. So see, I feel that step by step, the most important thing, step one would be understanding who you are as a person. What are you best at? And everybody's really good at something. And mostly what happens is that we're confused and deluded by outer voices and the external noise. Everybody trying to give us an interpretation of how our life should be. What do they expect from us, starting from our parents or teachers, or people around us and the society in general, and the general definition and parameters of success, are normally gauged with your income, your financial status, your bank balance, your assets, and all that. And your entire life is then spent in trying to achieve success in terms of financial gains, whereas there have been ample studies done recently, and there was a study conducted by the Oxford University, and there's enough literature to guide us and inform us that success is not just financial gains and your equity in terms of business and all of that. For me, I'll tell you what. For me, a successful person is the one who has peace in his heart or her heart, who is modest, who is grateful, and just that feeling of fulfillment inside. And you're not restless, and you're not, so they're all these positive emotions, and there's no like negative. You don't have fear inside you. You don't have anxiety, and you don't have all these things. And if you can conquer that, and you have peace in your heart, then you can give peace to other people, and that is the true definition. Now, that does not mean that you cannot or should not earn money or be wealthy or have a good car or a good house and all that. You can have all of that, aspire to have all of that, achieve and acquire all of that, but do not forget that the most important thing is that there should be peace inside your heart, and you have to work towards that. And once that's there, you can achieve greater things beyond your own imagination.
Thank you for your answer, sir. So I have a next question to you. When you work as a producer with one team and you work as a philanthropist and you work with different teams like so many times, how are you able to mix up with so many teams for a long time, as most of young people like us can't handle their single team, get separated within a year and so on? What is the secret behind this? Is there any secret, or there is just a magic, or how can you do it with such kind of perfection?
Well, I don't know if I can do it with that kind of perfection or something, but there's something that I would like to say here to all of you young students out there. The most important thing to learn and understand is the human mind, how our mind works. And when you start to learn about our brain and our mind and a few other things related to it, you start to understand yourself more, you become more aware, and you start to understand other people more. But understanding them, what happens is that you start seeing people as, you start to understand that every person has a set of emotions. They get triggered. We all go through anger and joy and happiness and resentment and all these different kind of emotions. Now, once you become aware of your own self and your own emotional structure and the human mind in general, you can communicate with yourself and other people in a more evolved, in a more productive manner. Because then you're understanding that, okay, fine, I don't need, if somebody has reacted in a certain way, undesirable way, I don't need to react back in the same manner. You don't have to one-up each other all the time. You can just be an observer, sitting and watching things happen. And then you understand where the other person is coming from. You are driven by empathy. And you understand that this, whoever's working for you can have limitations. They can have their bad days. They can have their good days. And also understand that a positive working environment will always reproduce a positive outcomes. And a negative working environment can never reap the results, desirable results to that level. So you have to keep people positive, charged, motivated, because end of the day, everybody is doing what they're doing to be happy, right? Whatever we're doing, eventually we're doing it to feel good about ourselves and the world that we're living in, to achieve all those great things. And you can Google Tony Robbins' 6 core needs. So why do we do all those things that we do in life? So just study those, and then you'll understand, okay, fine, I'm doing this, other person is doing this because of this. And you just can manage things. Once you learn how to manage yourself, your inner world, you learn to manage your outer world, and the other people are a part of that world, but they're also connected. We're all sort of connected on another level with each other. Our souls are connected, our minds are connected, and we're actually just one. We are all one entity manifested in different bodies, that same energy going through that tree and the plant and me and the dog and the cat and you sitting in Nepal or India or in Pakistan. So eventually it's all that one energy that's going through all of us. So once we understand that we're all one and connected to each other, then the other person is not somebody else. He's an extension of you. Like you right now, you're an extension of me. I'm an extension of you. So there's so much that I can give to you, so much that you can give to me. And once we start to understand that, we can achieve so much more.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful, wonderful answer. Like, I will apply this in real life. I try to apply it in real life, but it's not as easy as I express it. From tomorrow, I may again face the difficulties, same difficulties. But still, when I remember this kind of thing, someone told me this. Okay, I should remember this. He told me that, so that must be true. So, and I try to follow that daily, and that is what it will help me in my for the future. And I have a next question if you are ready, sir.
Yes, I'm ready. And before I answer that question, I can give you guys a little tip that I use that you can start applying in your lives and see if that makes a difference. So 2 moments in the day are very important for you. When you're waking up and when you're going to sleep, because that's the point when your mind is shifting from conscious mind to the subconscious mind, right? And you're in the middle. And that is when you're in the theta state. You can go there through meditation also. Well, now, once you're there, whatever seed that you're planting in your subconscious mind, the thoughts that you're planting are very important because they have a larger potential to manifest. So I want you all to try this, that when you're waking up in the morning, don't wake up like this, right? Wake up slowly. And while you're waking up, tell yourself, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm peaceful, I'm healthy, and I'm grateful. So, start chanting these words in your mind. I'm happy, I'm peaceful, I'm in bliss, and I'm grateful to you, God, for giving me all of this, waking me up in this body and giving me all this strength. And today is going to be such a fantastic day in my life. And then foresee how you would like your day to manifest from beforehand. I'm going to go and meet my teacher or my boss, and I'm going to smile at them, and I'm going to do this today, and I'm going to achieve that today. And then you see how your day goes by. And when you're going to sleep, then start answering the same thing. Thank you so much. The day was perfect. It was the best day of my life. I felt so good today. I achieved so much. And no matter what happened, tomorrow is going to be a better day. So with this emotion, just do this mantra every day that you wake up and go back to sleep. And then you'll start actually seeing things happen differently.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of match up with your thinking. Like every day I wake up, I feel like, see, Suprema, I console myself. You have everything to be a successful person. So this started whenever I feel demotivated. You have everything to be a successful person. Everyone loves you. Love everyone. That's how I start my day.
Yeah. Yes. That's a beautiful way to start. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And our thinking matches to so many levels, and I am happy with that. So I have a next question. You are president at Ali Zafar Foundation. We all know Ali Zafar Foundation does a great job for women, transgender children. And in Asian countries like Nepal, India, Pakistan, there is no equality between female and male counterparts. In Pakistan, there is still burqa culture still going on. What are the Ali Zafar Foundation further planning to remove this kind of culture to eventually bring out equality? Because we just want equality, not more than that.
That's a very good question. See, the thing is, when we talk about equality, I would like to take it one step further. Equality between all human beings, from any caste, creed, culture, same gender. I mean, it's beyond all of this. And equality and rights, even for animals, even for trees and plants, everything that nature has created and God has created is a part of nature. So everything and everybody, and now when we talk about human beings, whether you're a transgender, whether you're a male, whether you're a woman, all of you have rights, your own life, and you have been given a choice, right? And you should be able to live your life as you would like to, because it is end of the day, it's your life. You're not living it for somebody, and you're not going to be questioned about anybody else but yourself, right? At any point. And you would, so I mean, that's why I said that I would like to take it a step further, because that is the basic thing. If you, I mean, now the problem that's happened with, you know, not just the third world, but even not just the developing world, but you study history, and even those societies like, you know, European countries and the States and all that, they've come through a journey of where they've learned that women are not lesser than men. You know, that they have their own rights, they have their own lives, and they need to be given that authority and power and make their own decisions. Now, we in the developing world, you know, we have so much to learn in so many things. So it is, I feel that this is a great turning point in our times, that we, you know, we as men tell our, you know, daughters and sisters and mothers that you're not just my daughter. You know, your claim to fame or your status in the society is not because you're somebody's daughter or you're somebody's wife or you're somebody's mother. You are a person in yourself. You have your own mind, your own heart, your own life, and that is yours, right? And you have your own rights. I mean, we all need to be very, very about that fact and conscious that we do not hinder in each other's, you know, progress and help each other grow. Because see, the thing is that because everything is in sync, everything works in cohesion. One goes up, the balance goes out. The other goes up, the balance. It has to be like harmonious, working like this. Everything has to work in harmony as nature is designed, because nature is designed to work in harmony. It is only us and our egotistical minds and our mindset that makes us think that we are better than the other, and you know, that whole thing that, you know, you do what I tell you to do, and I know better and you know less, and so that's our ego talking. So all the conflicts in the world are basically, if you think about it, from drawing room banters to wars and bigger conflicts, are that I'm right, you're wrong. The way I think is right and my belief is right, your belief is wrong. We just need to be tolerant to each other's ideas and beliefs and just learn to coexist in harmony.
That's just beautiful, and I just love your thinking, sir. As you're here, I want to share something from my side as well, if you allow me.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, I, as a female, I face so many difficulties in my life. People say respect women, but I need no respect just because I am a female. I need respect because I am a human being. I want, or we want, equality. If a boy can travel in a public vehicle after 7 p.m., I don't need any special cars at that time. I just need the environment that I can travel in the same public vehicle at after 7 p.m. I need no special treatment. I need no special private cars. I just need the environment that I can travel in local vehicles as well.
Yeah.
That is what I wanted to say right now. If you support me, sir, and if you want to add something on equality, it would be just great.
It is your right. It is your right that you're given that environment, whether by the state or by the society, that not just even after 7 p.m. You should be able to travel by yourself even after 12 a.m. You know, whenever you want to. It's your, so to give you that sense of security, that sense of equality, that sense of freedom, because freedom is our basic human right. So it is it is, you know, a collective responsibility, and especially I would say that, you know, how do I put it? Like, because you're a woman, right? Then there should be a lot more done for you, to make you feel safer by, you know, by everybody, including women and including men and including the society and the state and the laws and everything. because that's your basic human right, and nobody should be able to take that away from you.
I just want equality in our society. If you give male 10 rupees, give us 10 rupees. We don't want any single rupees more than that. And by saying that, I have something to present you. Can we have a picture presented on our screen right now?
Yeah, sure. What is that?
Yeah, it's being presented. Okay.
Oh,
Sir, do you remember this picture?
yes, that's me. That's my father. That's my mother. That's my younger brother. Yes.
Do you want to share something about this picture when it was taken, and how do you feel looking this picture after so long?
I actually I don't quite remember when was it taken. How I think maybe my father's university, because he was a professor of design, art and design, and my mother is also a professor. Maybe it was back then when probably everybody in the campus had to have colored hair and stuff like that. So, and I mean, I really adore my parents. My father's always, given that room to my mother to do whatever she wants to. She wanted to have short hair. So he said, like, he used to cut her hair himself. She used to cut his hair. So, like very liberal, emancipated, humble people. So I've grown up in that environment where, and then my father was an artist. I, got into art, and my mother's been a big role model for me. So yeah.
I know your mother is a big role for you, as I know that your mother and you work in the same Ali Zafar Foundation. So how lucky do you feel getting to share ideas with your own mother in your own organization with Dr. Kanwar Amin, Honorary Secretary at Ali Zafar Foundation?
Right. It feels wonderful. I mean, she earlier on, I used to do it very low key, like from my own pocket only. But then she inspired me that, listen, you've been given that status and that name that you can motivate other people and you can raise more funds and help more people. And you shouldn't shy away from doing that. So, we started to, put it out there a lot more as to exactly what we want to do, into fundraising and into telling and showing people that, this is all that we have achieved, we want to achieve, and help us doing that. So her ideas are always very, very fruitful, and we all get to learn a lot from her.
But sometimes your mother forces you to do something. Okay, son, you are my son, so you have to do this. So has that ever happened in your organization?
No, she's not that kind of mother. She, our organization is very democratic. I mean, whenever there's a cause and all that, we have a board of which decides. Even if I have to go ahead with something, I present it to them that I want to do this. Like in Corona, we said that I want to distribute food to people because they're home and can't go to work, and we need to give ration and other. So they all said that yes, we should do that. And when it comes to different other causes, we all discuss it. There's there's good discussion on it, and then we see what's the best way to benefit as many people in the best possible manner. Yeah.
That's a great, and your relationship with your family looks such a great, and your mother, I am a great fan of your mother. She is so inspiring, a great personality. I saw her bio, and that's just a beautiful, inspiring. I would love to be like that someday in my future.
Oh, I'll tell her. She'll be very happy to hear that.
So my name is Suprema Shrestha. Tell her that Suprema Shrestha has become your great fan.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay. And all of us know, that when we focus on a single task for a long time, you can be good at that surely eventually. But it's hard to do so many tasks with the same perfection, same efficiency. But when you do more tasks, the efficiency decreases. But it does not match with you. You're a versatile man. How are you able to manage so many works? You're a singer, you're an actor, with same efficiency?
Well, I don't know how good I am at all these things, but I mean, it's very, very difficult because every discipline is different. Like when I made my film Tifa in Trouble, which was, I don't know if you guys have seen that, it's on Netflix, you should check it out. No, it has action and comedy and romance and songs and all of that. So when I was producing that film, I financed it myself. I produced it. I co-wrote the film. I was also acting in it. I wrote the songs. I did the music and all that. And I've done this before also. Like in London, Paris, New York, I was composing the songs and the music. And in Total Chapter, I composed. And sometimes I would be on the set and telling the studio, change this chord like this, and do this to the all that. I'll sometimes have to rush to the studio, then rush to the set, and so I have to multitask. And I think one thing that I can say that I can do is that I can multitask, do different things at the same time, and it's just something that I've been all right at since the beginning. Like even when I was in college, I used to be doing assignments, then going to my work and doing small modeling and acting jobs at the same time, and writing and composing. So I mean, I've always been in that environment where but it requires a lot of hard work. I mean, you have to be working all the time, and I've taken pride in that. Like I'm a sort of a workaholic. Now, during the Corona days, I finally got a chance to chill out for a little time and just enjoy things as we go by. Yeah.
You know what? Your actions are your experiences, and what made you open a foundation, Ali's of a foundation, which is just motivated to help other, someone poor people, someone helpless people. What motivated you mainly to open Ali's of a foundation?
I think the most important thing is that it's a very basic, simple realization that I've learned through my journey that no matter what you do and what you achieve for yourself, there is no greater joy than to be able to change somebody's life and to be able to help somebody. And sometimes for you it's a small thing, but for that person it's such a big thing. So when you're blessed with all these gifts, let's say, and if I am, then I'll be really unfair to myself and God and His people if I just use them for my own self and not make use of all that I've been blessed with to help people and change lives. And it doesn't really require much, just that sensitivity, just that that thought process and that understanding that whenever you help somebody through karmic law and that effect, it comes back to you. And once we start understanding it, the world can really change if you start to understand. The more you do for others, the better you feel, your life, it's just more bliss comes in your own life. And it's just a good thing to do. It's just a nice thing to do, to be nice to other people and help them, I think.
And talking to you, I mean, we are getting a lot of messages in the chat box, it's uncountable messages in the chat box. We will talk to our fans, Ali Zafar's fan, at last of this session. But right now, I would like to start a spicy and funny questions. So are you ready for that? For spicy and some kind of sugary questions?
Spicy and, okay, done, ready. Shoot.
Okay, so do you know about Devananda, the late actor Devananda from India?
Yeah. Devananda, yeah.
Government banned black dress for him because he looked too dashing in his total black dress. And when my mother and father told me that this actor was banned for black dress, he was not allowed to wear black dress, and I could not believe that time. Like, what? Are you serious? Someone can be banned for a color code of their dress? And I had to search in to make sure that it was true. But when I saw it was really true. So you are such a handsome man. It's hard to handle you. I am sorry. But I mean, what has the craziest thing a fan has ever done for you?
Should I also not wear black?
I am sorry, but it's like it's seeking attraction, and I feel like I am okay. It's hard to handle you right now.
Okay. No, it's I don't know what to say to that. But all I can say is that if I can make anybody feel good in any way, then it's that's also a blessing. So, but there are like, I mean, there's so many, better looking people, more talented people in the world out there than I am. But if somebody thinks that about me, then I'm flattered. It's very flattering.
And I wanted to know, what is the craziest thing a fan has ever done for you?
Oh, they've done some crazy things that I cannot narrate at this point.
I would love to hear some of them.
Oh, well, I mean, what's the safest thing that I can tell? I mean, I'll tell you the sweet stuff that they do. I mean, crazy that they're crazy hota hai, but they make like really beautiful artworks and they send it over, and I get mail and hand drawn paintings and portraits and poetry, and and when I was single, then there would be different ways to convince to get married to them in different ways, and sometimes it would be letters written in blood also, and sometimes I mean you're staying in hotels and you get knocks on your door throughout the night, fans wanting to see you. I mean all sorts of crazy stuff has happened, but I'm sure it happens to everybody. Everybody is on TV. And
right now, you're just in front of me. I can do many crazy things for you, but I am limited to my own formal things. So I can't be as crazy as other fans right now. And next question for you is, if you were a girl, okay? If you were a girl, who would be your male celebrity crush?
Male celebrity crush in actors, or like in what category?
In any category, Like if I was a girl, I would date him. Have you ever thought about that?
That's like really a really difficult question. I'll have to I can't picture myself dating, but I do feel that like some people who inspire me from our field. I think Brad Pitt is somebody who's done great work and aged really well. And I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio is somebody who's gotten great roles to play. And so yeah, Johnny Depp, all these people. I mean, like Robert Downey Jr. And so yeah. Next question.
You know what? If I was in place of you, I would have answered, I would have dated myself. I am such a dashing, so why would not I date myself?
How can I can't really date myself. So, yeah.
So, sir, what do you want to explore next in your life? As you have been exploring so many things in your life, right? So, where do you want to visit next after COVID-19, or do you have any further plans of exploring things in your life?
Yeah, I want to travel again. It's been a while since I've traveled, and I love to travel. And so I want to travel again. I want to be able to perform in front of my fans. I love doing that and interacting them. I need to get on the set and start shooting my next movie. So there's so many things that are pending and I want to do. Yeah.
Please visit Nepal and meet us. We would be delighted to have that.
Huh? What?
Please come to Nepal, visit Nepal, and please meet us someday in real like this.
Would love to. That's one place that I have to visit. If you guys arrange a concert, I'll come and perform.
Please, sir. This must be done. We will do it in upcoming future, surely, sir.
done.
So,
And
sir,
I'll be there.
okay, sir, thank you so much. If you were president of Pakistan, what would you do globally to make positive changes?
Well, I mean, there's a long list of things that I would want to do or I think that need to be done. I mean, good things take time, but I feel that the most important thing is to, there needs to be an education system where people are made to learn how to do so many things and achieve so many things.
Exactly.
I mean, the whole education system, in my opinion, the entire education system needs to be revamped and changed.
Yeah.
And if you are to step into this new realm or era of humanity, we need to start seeing and experiencing things in life in a whole different manner. Because what's coming in the future is pretty intense in terms of AI and all of that. So, and I think education system would be my first. Then changing mindsets, then I mean economy and all these people, economic structure, and all these, that's a given. Foreign policy, that's a given. You've got to make peace and learn to live at peace with your neighbors, and have a conducive environment for your country, for your businesses to flourish. Have good healthcare systems. So yeah, there's so many things that one can do.
And the last fun question, or let's say spicy question, or let's say informative question for you is, as you're a role model to every one of us, like everyone wants to be like you. It's an obvious thing. So who is your role model of your life? Who inspired you? There must be someone inspiring you.
I think I'll tell you very honestly. I mean, when you're growing up, you have idols and you look up to people. Like when I was growing up, I was a big Superman fan. So I always wanted to fly, and I loved Christopher Reeve. Then I was still am big Mr. Bachchan fan, and then Imran Khan, the cricketer. So I also wanted to be a cricketer. So I mean, then in singing, Kishore Kumar, and Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley, and Kurt Cobain, and Axl Rose, and all of these people. So I mean, you have different people that you're looking up to. But as you evolve and grow, you learn that nature and the one who's created all of it is your biggest inspiration. That's where all the answers lie. That's where you can really, once you connect to that, you discover so much about your own self, and you can inspire your own self. You can motivate your own self, and you don't need anybody else. You're complete within your own self.
Thank you so much for beautiful answers. It feels like I don't want to leave this platform. I want to stay here for you forever, and I want to communicate with you because so many positive energies are being carried out here, and so many questions are being carried out there, and it is just beautiful. But I have to get out of here right now, as we have separated some time for our fans as well. There is fan queries session right now, and that will be handled by Ms. Apeksha Gimire, and she is our social media manager.
Okay, cool. Lovely chatting with you.
Bye, sir. Bye, sir. That was a great meeting with you. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you. Yeah. So what's next now?
Actually, Apeksha is not available right now. So, sir, I think I am going to interact with you for the next session as well. And I feel lucky for that. So anyone who wants to interact with Mr. Ali Zafar can raise your hand and we will unmute you. This is just a golden opportunity anyone can have. Please, anyone wants to? Okay. Anyone from our volunteers as well?
Suprema? Can you please
Okay, I
pronounce the
have
name?
someone from, so Vivek Malik, you can unmute him.
Please,
Please, Vivek Malik.
please say the
Unmute
name.
Pallavi. Unmute Pallavi, please, Vivek Malik. Okay, wait, I will do it by myself. Okay, Pallavi, you're unmuted now. You can ask the question.
Sir, I'm your die-hard fan, and firstly, I'd like to say you hello. And
Hi.
I don't know what I have to say. Like, I'm your fan since sixth class, and right now I'm in bachelor third year. And like, right now I'm just shivering. Like, I feel so great talking to you. Like, I was so much excited for these sessions. Like, I really feel great to Holtpress that has given me platform for doing this. So I would really love to meet you, sir, someday. So I don't know what to ask. Like, I have so many questions inside my heart. Like, yeah, actually, but better asking questions. Like, I would like to share one incident. Like, I have been your fan since sixth class, and sixth class. I think you understand Hindi as well because you have been doing Hindi films and all. And
I do.
sixth class में एक sir थे क्या? And he looks same like you. And you know, I just attended the 6th class to 10th class maximum number of days of schools, like just by saying that assuming कि वो Ali Zafar hai, just like that. I don't know what I'm saying right now, but I feel so embarrassed at the same time, sir. So
That's all right.
sir, will you please sing वो देखने में कैसे सीधी सादी लगती? That's my favorite song, sir.
That one. वो देखने में कैसी सीधी सादी लगती है, बोलती कि वो तो कुछ नहीं समझती, अंदर से कितनी तेज है, कभी अजीब सी कभी हसीन लगती, कभी किसी किताब का हसीन लगती, फिलॉसफी का क्रेज है, ओ कहती है ये एक फेज है, कहती है ये एक फेज है.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Actually, I was in class 8 when you released this song.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
I
Sundar
remember
Sajaniya
that.
is my all-time favorite song. Like, I just love his all films and movie, and that the way you say hello in that Brother Ki Dulhan. I'm just a diehard fan. I can't just explain right now.
okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pallavi. Thank you so
I
much.
also want to say something. Hello, Ali sir.
Yeah, hi Nisha.
It's right now, but I really want to say how much I love you.
Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for coming here.
My pleasure. You take care.
Thank you.
So next, hand raised by Divyanshu Rai. So I unmute you, Divyanshu Rai. So you can ask question or anything. You can do to our sir. I've unmuted you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely fine. How are you?
Good. What's going on? I'm trying to see you.
So this morning, my mom.
Okay.
So this morning, my mom, she was listening to a song, and I'd be like, this afternoon we've got a workshop and we're having him, and she's like, no, you're not serious. And I said, I am, and I just screenshotted just now and I sent it to her, and she's like in my mama's place, and she's like, she's not believing it. She's like your biggest fan. So like, can you say something for her? I'm like recording the screen. Can you just say something for my mom?
What's her name?
Her name is Jamuna.
Zamuna. What song was she listening to?
The song you sang. The song you just sang.
This one. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Zamuna, Auntie, this is Ali sending you lots of love. And the song that you were listening to, I just sang, and consider it sung for you. Okay.
So we have one audience member here who wants to dedicate you a song. So may I give this platform to him, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Lokraj Pokhrel, are you there? Please unmute Lokraj Pokhrel. Please unmute Lokraj Pokhrel. Sir, so are you enjoying this session?
Yes, indeed. Quite interesting talking to all of you.
Sir, how have you been spending the COVID days?
Interesting. It was really good for me, actually. You know, I enjoyed my time with my children and myself, and you know, writing songs and just without the hustle bustle and all of that. I enjoyed it. But I have to now rush in like 3 minutes to.
Okay. So I guess Lokraj has been unmuted.
There is another audience as well, Maida Rao. I have unmuted you. So please, if you have any question or anything, you can just ask to our sir.
Maida. Hi, Maida.
Hi sir, how's you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good too. Actually, I want to ask you something about my company. Like I was doing something in media field. So I want to ask you if someone failed again and again in building up something and he don't have enough money to build up his own team and he don't have a good sincere friend to work with him, how to, what to do himself to manage and create his own team? First of all, I miss you so much.
Thank you. See, it's step by step. You build things step by step. When you're building a team from 1 to 2 to 2 to 4, 4 to 16, and that's how it goes. And you have to be just patient, go with a positive mind, and you know, slowly people will keep coming in, and you build a team, and it'll all be fine. So just keep at it with a positive mindset, and it'll happen. Yeah.
Once you said to me, just आपने मुझे याद है कि कहा था कि with the time, with the process of time, everything will be fine. So that thing happened with me in personal life. So I just need some motivation to build up my team and my work. So as you know, my inspiration is you. So I'm working and following you from zero. I started from zero, but still I know I am somewhere to following you. And
Well, I'm telling you now that you know you can manifest anything that you want in your life. Just be positive, and as I told you back then that everything's going to be fine, and it's fine now in that personal sphere. So I'm telling you now that if you really want to make a team and be whatever you want to be, then that'll happen too. Just believe in it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. I think you're getting late because we had asked only 1 hour from you and you've just given entire 1 hour. And sorry, fans of Ali Zafar sir, now we have to end this session as well, fan session. So we are so sorry. I wish we could provide you a lot of time, but this is a limited time and Ali Zafar is a busy sir, you know. So at last, we want to have a selfie time with you. Our team and our entire participants want to have a selfie with you. So let's have a selfie time. So let's get it started. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. I will count. So let's smile, everyone.
One big selfie.
I think we're done for the
Let's all do
selfie
this.
time.
Let's all do this.
Let's everyone do this and let's take a selfie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
चलो ठीक है, wonderful. All right, great guys. Lovely talking to you. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir. Thanks to our Taha Sadat sir
Bye.
for connecting us with you. Like without him, this
Yeah.
event would not have
Bye,
been
Vishal.
possible. So thanks to Taha Sadat sir as well. And thank you so much for giving us this beautiful time. Like this, it was just beautiful. Our fans enjoyed it. Our team members enjoyed it. It was just incredible. It is still incredible. Thank you so much. So Ali
My
Jafar
pleasure.
sir.
My pleasure. May
Bye,
you all have
sir.
peace and love in your life. Bye. Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye.